You're at a party or a dinner, laughing, drink in hand. Everyone thinks you're having a great time. And yet, somewhere underneath all of that, there is this quiet, hollow feeling you cannot explain. Like you're watching the whole thing through glass. You go home that night and feel more alone than you did before you walked in. And the worst part, nothing went wrong. Nobody was rude to you. People were happy to see you. By every measure, it was a good night. So why does it feel like this? That question has been sitting inside millions of people for years, and psychology finally has a real answer. Psychologist Elizabeth Pennell at the University of Vermont calls this existential isolation, the feeling that even when people are right next to you, they cannot reach your actual inner experience. You can be popular, busy, constantly invited, and still feel like a stranger in every room you walk into. What makes this so confusing is who it happens to. It's rarely the quiet person in the corner. Research shows the people who feel this most intensely are usually the ones everyone else assumes are doing just fine. They're warm. They're present. They ask the kind of questions that make other people feel like the most interesting person alive. They remember the small details. They show up. And while they're doing all of that for everyone around them, nobody is doing it for them. A 2021 study followed 756 people over 2 years, tracking their emotions in real time through a smartphone app. The finding was striking. Loneliness didn't decrease when people were surrounded by others. In dense, crowded environments, it actually got worse. Psychologist Sam Carr at the University of Bath says the biggest myth about loneliness is that people are always the solution. His research found they are often the cause. The loneliest people aren't isolated. They're surrounded by people who simply don't recognize them for who they actually are. People who make them feel invisible. People they have to perform for just to feel accepted. And that performance has a cost. Researchers studied a pattern called self-concealment, actively hiding the parts of yourself that feel too real, too intense, or too different. A landmark 1990 study by psychologists Larson and Chastain found that the higher someone's self-concealment, the higher their levels of anxiety, depression, and even physical illness. Not because they're keeping secrets, but because maintaining two versions of yourself, the public one and the real one, it's a mental load that never switches off. Someone can look completely confident in a room full of people and feel utterly wiped out the moment they're alone. A larger review in 2015 looked across 137 studies on self-concealment and found something important. It's not just about hiding. It creates a constant internal conflict, the pull between wanting to conceal and desperately wanting to be understood. That tension is what makes it so draining. Researcher Faye Bound-Alberti at King's College London says the loneliest people she has studied are often those in relationships that should feel fulfilling, but don't. A marriage, a friendship group, a family dinner. Because physical closeness without emotional recognition is its own kind of isolation. She puts it simply. It's not the physical distance from others that makes people lonely. It's the emotional distance. So what does the research say actually helps? Scientists studied moments they call eye-sharing, when two people feel they are having the exact same inner experience at the same moment. Not just laughing at the same joke, but a genuine feeling of, you too? You actually get this? Those moments, even small ones, are what meaningfully reduce this kind of loneliness. A friend who understands why something hits you without needing the full backstory. Someone who notices you went quiet and doesn't push you to perform. A conversation that goes somewhere real instead of looping back to safe ground. One moment like that does more than 100 polite evenings ever could. Here is what I want you to take from this. You are not too sensitive. You are not broken. You don't need to want less or feel less or keep settling for connections that leave you emptier than before you showed up. Your nervous system is wired for depth, and surface connection, like small talk, familiar routines, conversations that never go anywhere real, doesn't satisfy it. It's like eating food with no nutrition. You go through every motion and still end up starving. What you need isn't more people, it's the right ones, and they exist. They're usually the ones standing a little quiet at the edge of the same crowded room, feeling exactly what you're feeling, and wondering the same thing. You're not alone in this, even when it feels like the loneliest thing in the world.